Yeah. Well, breath brings oxygen to the body, right? So it brings oxygen to our blood, making our blood flow easier, better. And then that brings oxygen into our brain, making our brain function better. So with our deep breaths, when people, especially if you're making deep or serious choices, decision making, taking a deep breath really helps calm the nervous system. And then it gives you a chance to think, okay, am I making a logical choice or an emotional choice? And what is the goal of this choice? So what's the end game? What's the goal? That breath helps you really calm that nervous system, helps that brain start functioning. And then the muscles are receiving the oxygen that they need. And so it's relaxing the body. And so then you're making more logical choices versus emotional choices.
Massage therapy is more than just relaxation. It's healing, it's connection, and for many, it's a lifelong calling. But beyond the treatment table, there's an entire business behind the art of healing, one that requires trust, community, and the right environment for both therapists and clients to thrive. My guest today, Celeste Aguilera, knows this firsthand. As the founder of my massage studios, Celeste has built a space designed not just for exceptional bodywork, but for massage therapists to grow, build their businesses, and create lasting relationships with clients. In this episode, we will explore her journey and, most importantly, what execs and CEOs can take from the world of massage therapy to lead better, more connected organizations. So let's get into it. So you've been in the industry, in the massage industry for the past 17 years. Tell me about that. Let's start there, because I'm very curious to hear your experience today. If we were to go back and talk to that, the young Celeste who started 17 years ago and be like, I want to massage people. Yeah. How was that like?
Well, my grandparents they were born in Mexico, and they came to the United States with a skill known as sobar, which is a vigorous form of massage. And so I grew up watching them help people in their community out of pain because all of them were field workers or factory workers, and they were kind of weary about going to doctors, or, you couldn't afford to go to a doctor every time you got a chance or you needed to. So they would go see my grandparents anytime they hurt themselves, and my grandparents, through massage or herbs or some sort of technique, they would help them out of pain. So I grew up seeing that, but I had no idea you could make that a career. And I did not intend for it to become a career. But after high school, being raised by my mom, who was a single mother, I did intend to attend community college for business management because I knew I wanted to own my own business. But I didn't want her to pick up the bill on that. So I figured, I heard an announcement to become a massage therapist. In 11 months, get your certificate, this, and I was like, hey, I can do that real quick in 11 months, and then I'll work my way through college. And so that was the plan. But then when I got a job and I was making decent money and fell in love with what I was doing, and then hearing other people that had attended college, that they were now massage therapists and paying back those loans, I said, I'm just going to stay here.
Wow.
And so fast forward 17 years, I now own 2 businesses.
So which is the massage studio, and I forgot the name of that one.
Relief Muscle Manipulation is my personal practice where I see my clients. I specialize in deep tissue and trigger point work. So that's my niche, my personal niche. But
thanks for sharing that history, because I saw the name Sobar. I couldn't even pronounce it. Sobar. I was like, what is that?
It's
is that
intense.
A magical? So what exactly is it? Is it like a deep tissue massage, or is it like punching someone until they feel good? Which one is it?
Take sports massage times 1,000 along with deep tissue massage.
Oh, wow.
Times no pain, no gain.
Right.
It's
wow.
intense.
Because I played soccer, so like my coach back in the day, we only had a coach. We didn't have a massage therapist, anything. If you feel pain, he would just come yank your leg and just like go all in. I was like, oh my God, this hurts, but it feels good.
No, my grandma could do more.
Yeah. Is she still doing sabar?
Occasionally, but they're older, so their hands and their strength has depleted a lot.
Hey, I mean, they still have the skills. I'm sure.
No, my
just
grandma's
by
still
touching,
strong.
like,
She'll still get on my shoulder. She's
Right.
like, "Does it hurt?" Well,
Right.
not does the work I'm doing hurt. Does your shoulder hurt? Let me
Right.
help you. You know,
that makes
and
sense.
it feels good to me. So I like
Well,
it.
but yeah, tell me more about your other business, which you talked about, deep tissue massage, because that's something that I notice in the business world. People are always tense, and I'm sure that has a correlation as to why you're doing what you're doing today.
Okay. Well, deep tissue work is something that I fell in love with. I have in my past, I started off working at a franchise, which is where most massage therapists start off. I started off working at a franchise, and then I moved over to a spa before I landed my dream job at a chiropractor's office. But at the franchise, I got a chance to work with different body types. So it was fun to practice on different body types, different people. And I fell in love with the deep tissue work, with really getting into why something hurts and why and how to get it to not, and all these things, So
Right.
I fell in love with that, but I didn't really exactly like the pay or the hours. So I was burning out. So then I thought a spa, chiropractor's office were very hard to get into back then. So I thought a spa would be better. But then I realized that the Swedish massage, not that there's anything wrong with spas. I really love, I'll go to a spa any day of the week, but the work for me wasn't passionate.
Right.
In a spa. So then I moved over to the chiropractor's office, where then I really got a chance to hone in on those skills. So I worked at Kansas City Chiropractic for 7 years, and I worked alongside some great chiropractors there. And they taught me a lot of skills, along with making me think critically about muscles and how they work. So deep tissue work is not a lot of pressure. I think there's a misconception that deep tissue requires a lot of pressure. Deep tissue work requires the massage therapist to work the deeper tissues or the deeper muscles.
Right.
And then the trigger point work leads you need to find a spot that needs to be worked on and help the client breathe through it and maneuver things. So I do a lot of active release therapy there too. But that's what relief muscle manipulation, that's where it came from.
Yeah,
because
my muscles started twitching as you saying that.
I was going to say
I think
massage.
I need deep tissue relief.
Yeah. so I told you we should have gotten your muscles relaxed before we did the podcast.
I know. I'm like so tense right now after spending 12 hours filming all day yesterday.
Yeah, no, I believe it. Well, you know what? Ren has availability after we're all done here. You're going to throw yourself on her schedule.
Right. I know. But yeah, so what exactly is the difference between a spa and also a massage for people that don't know, and also chiropractor? Because to me, I just look at a place that has a massage in it and I just go there.
Yeah.
But is it? Do you require to go to school for either one of them or not? What is the difference exactly?
Well, in the state of Missouri and most states, really, you're required to get some sort of massage certificate, which is usually in the state of Missouri, it's 500 hours, and that's broken out into kinesiology, Eastern body work, Western body work, and all these. They have their rules. Each state does.
Right.
So if you're going to an actual massage therapist, then yes, they are certified automatically. But the difference, sobar is actually that was just taught to my grandparents. It's like healers, word of mouth, like, hey, here's how you do this. So the difference between a certified massage therapist is that they understand the muscles and the anatomy. And if you were to go to my grandparents, they just go more based on intuition, what was taught to them. Not that massage therapists don't go based on intuition, but that's the difference between that. My grandparents would not be able to tell you what muscle they're hitting. They just know, hey, this is the area that we need to release in order to get the relief that you want from the work we're doing. Right. But so.
Huh. What? So like in the business world, how exactly does massage work in the business world? Because we're all very tense, we're all very tired. especially like leaders that I talk to. Literally, yesterday, I'm not going to, well, he's going to be in a podcast, but I was talking to like someone and I were like twitching. I literally saw it. I'm just like, wow, this guy is very stressed and very burnt out. And then every now and then I'll see them like doing this, like tapping their foot on the ground so fast.
Yeah.
And I can see that, just by having these conversations with people. And not that I don't have it too. Even this morning, my eye was twitching.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, I think we notice things in people that we feel cues in ourselves, if that makes any sense. So we see ourselves in the other person. And since you're a person that's always learning, you're paying attention, why is that happening? Why is this happening? And that's kind of how I got good at deep tissue because I'm like, why is that happening? And why is this happening? What can we do to fix it? But to answer your question, when you have so much pressure on you, and this is just about anyone, but since we're speaking specifically about, let's say, a CEO in a company, when you have so much pressure on you, yes, we are great at quote unquote hiding it from others, but our bodies start signaling to us because we get stuck in that fight or flight mode because we're constantly thinking of this, thinking of that. Our body doesn't know the difference. I'm sure you've heard the story that our body doesn't know the difference between is there a lion behind that bush that's getting ready to attack me or hey, this like deadline is due. We have a deadline for this. We got to get this done. So our body's stuck in that.
Body keeps the score. Like I read a book about that.
Yes.
It was scary reading that.
Huh?
So it was very scary, like reading that book where it
that
talks about the body keeps the score. I'm just like, so someday all of the stuff that I did as a young kid, parkour, soccer, all of that is gonna come back.
Yeah, well,
which I've been feeling lately, actually.
We think muscle. When we hear muscle memory, we're thinking, oh, we move and do things just out. No, muscle memory literally means, hey, the muscles remember. We have this memory. And don't forget that one fall you had that one year.
Right.
Yeah, you didn't do anything about it, so I'm just going to stack on top of that.
Forward.
Then we're
going to talk about this when you're 40.
Yes, yes. So there's that. But a massage helps with all that because it calms that nervous system. So it puts you in your rest and digest phase. So that's where CEOs would really benefit from receiving some sort of. Can you imagine? An hour and a half just for yourself where someone else is working for you.
Right.
Without needing to say anything. You're just...
Right.
And that's it. No one's bugging you. No one's asking you anything. You're just there. Imagine that.
Right. No, I can actually like imagine that. And I'm just like beginning to get calm. I'm just like, I'm forgetting my questions. You can't do this. I'm here to interview.
Would you like to do the podcast while getting a massage?
Right? Yeah. I was like,
next question.
What's happening? I'm like, oh, I'm falling asleep. Okay, cool. Well, like that's it's like, I used to get like massage like a lot at like Massage Envy. I just got the membership, but I ended up canceling it because I was like, please punch me.
Yeah.
Because I had so many like injuries like playing soccer, and now the older I get, the more I start feeling all of the that pain, and then I notice whenever I'm very busy or I'm like I have a full schedule, I'll start feeling pain.
Yeah.
Like in the lumps behind my neck going down. And then, my temples will literally start dancing. You see them, I'll literally see them moving.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, this is very annoying. I have stuff to do.
Yeah.
So what would you say to someone like that? For example, me, all of the symptoms that I'm describing, I'm sure like anxiety plays a big part in like all of that and all the day-to-day decisions, the pressure which you touched on.
Yeah.
But if you were to consult someone, I'm not sure how your process looks like when someone comes in and they're very anxious and they're having all the symptoms and they're like, hey, I need your help. What would you tell them?
Yeah. Well, I would tell them, I would start off by saying thank you for making us part of your self-care routine.
Right.
Because it sounds like you may not have a self-care routine.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I just wake up and take a shower, wash my face.
Yes, you're go.
Do my hair or wear a hat and I'm gone.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, you're go between your businesses, between your relationship with your wife, your relationship with your son, the relationship with your coworkers. And so you're thinking of all relationships around you except for the one with yourself.
Right.
So then you don't have a real self-care for yourself so that your body's telling you, hey, I'm going to shut down here in a little bit if you don't listen to me, which is exactly what any relationship around you would sound like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your wife would tell you, hey, you're not listening to me.
Yeah.
And your son would say, hey, Dad, listen to me, you know?
Actually, my son did say that one time.
Yeah.
But since then, I've made it my mission to always be present. Even this year, my word of the year is just present.
Okay. Well, with that being said, your body's telling you, hey, you're not listening to me. So what are you going to tell your body?
I just tell my body, hey, every quarter we'll be, we'll get taken care of at Helion Elevate. If you're listening, hit me up. I'll tell you what that is. Once every quarter is when I give my body love.
Okay. Well, then at least it'll know.
Okay, cool. So how does self-care looks for a leader? Because one of the things that I've noticed for myself, I tend to rush people, especially when it comes to my self-care, because I'm like, I got stuff to do. Like, can we speed this up? And I can tell that they're just complying with my request. But like, how can someone advocate for themselves, for the patient's like benefit? Because for example, at the hospital, no matter how rushed you come to the doctor, they will tell you, hey, you need to chill.
Yeah.
But like, how do you guys communicate self-care for leaders that are like anxious in a hurry and then want to just get healed and then move on?
Oh, well, that's the most important part as a giver. You have to learn how to take care of yourself. So me, as a massage therapist, I have my self-care routine that I go through, and my spiritual practice that I do as well. Because if I myself am not calm, cool, and collected and working on my own anxiety, I will bring it into the space with me. And then if somebody with anxiety comes in, which in our practice, it's very likely common. Someone with anxiety comes in, and this happens all the time. I'll have someone that feels like they're running behind, but I, as a massage therapist, have my wiggle room before and after, especially with newer clients. So my job, they come in, they're anxious. Oh, my voice is slower. We're taking a breath. I'm breathing. They take a breath. Oh, no worries. Take your time. Take your time. No, don't you worry about that. No, we're fine. Yeah, we're here now. We're fine. Take your time. So my job is to make sure that I am taking care of myself as well, in order to be present for the person that's coming in with that anxiety. We also have to be very understanding with people who have pain, because pain creates anger. And some people can come in, I can't tell you how many times I've had people come in with some sort of attitude or some sort of, whatever, Yeah,
it's just a massage.
Yes. And then after the massage, they're a whole other person, because you don't take that personal. So my job, I hope that's answering your question. My job as a massage practitioner is to practice what I preach. So that's what I do.
Cool. So let's say now you have to create a schedule for like a treatment plan for like someone like me.
Yes.
And this may or may not be a consultation for myself to figure out what I need to do, because my hips are like, hey, like we're not lying anymore.
Yeah. Your hips are like, remember all that soccer
like
and then all the driving you've been doing this week?
No, yeah. It's crazy how much stress I put on my body, because I did parkour, jumping over buildings. I played soccer pro, travel for it. And then I also was a break dancer. So I would be spinning on the ground, doing flips and stuff.
Yes.
So now that I'm like in my mid 30s and I'm like, wow, even getting up is something else. I wake up and I'm just like, I can't move.
Yes.
Somebody help, And the whole time I wake up is when my son just comes flying in my face and like, wake up, Dad. I'm just like, okay, cool, let's do this.
Yes, let's go.
But yeah, how would a like massage plan looks for someone like me?
Someone like you? Well, based on the history that you gave me, I would highly doubt that we would come in, and I would never promise you a full body on our first session, because it's just not going to happen. I'm assuming because you were a soccer player, your hips are holding a lot.
Oh yeah.
So your hips, entire spine, and into your neck would be my main area of focus for the whatever session, whether you signed up for the hour or half hour, half hour or the 90-minute. Afterwards, I would definitely suggest to see you within the next 2 weeks, because after the 2-week period, what we did erases and it goes back to square one, and then we're starting all over.
Interesting.
So if this is an investment, and all my clients really do understand this, working on yourself is an investment.
Right.
So we see a lot of each other for the beginning. Usually I get good results if the client is being a good client.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I get good results after about 4 to 5 visits. And then, because my goal is to get you into maintenance work where you only need massage every once in a while, like an oil change.
Right.
Then we wing you off to once a month or every other month.
Huh,
But
like
a person like you would probably just be at once a month because you have so much going on.
Right.
But yes, we see each other a lot to begin with, but we are very specific. And you'll start noticing that, because we also have to train the body into relaxing because it's been so tense so long.
Right.
So it's like a workout. You'll be a little sore to begin with because it's like hitting the gym fresh,
Right.
But eventually you'll see that each session we'll get more and more body parts in, more muscles in, because the muscles are learning, okay, we're here to relax. We're here to relax. We're here to relax. And as well, I'm learning your issues, your muscle issues.
Right. No, absolutely.
Better. So then we'll get more and more muscles in, and eventually we'll make it to a full body.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. So
That makes sense. Because the last time I did a massage, they did a full body on the same day. I mean, I tell you, I was so sore. Because I think they definitely pulled something. Because I went to a chiropractor and then they did like a scan on my spine because they said my spine was like bent a little bit.
Okay.
I was like, what? I was like, how am
that,
I walking?
I mean, that doesn't surprise me with what you told me.
All that crazy stuff I did.
Yes.
No, I like remember failing off a tree and landing on my back one time, and I literally passed out. And I remember people like waking me up. I'm saying, oh, what happened? And then I remember jumping off a building and like missing my landing. And then landing face
Was that the
plan.
parkour phase?
Yeah, the parkour phase. I did so many things. I remember talking to someone and they're like, "You've lived so many different lives." I was like, he's like, "You've lived more lifetime than my 60 years of life." I was like, "Well, it's because my dad was always traveling, so
you had free time.
I had free time and I needed energy. I had so much energy.
Okay,
so I was just doing random stuff.
My God.
But like, thank you for that, because as you were describing, like my hips back to my spine, all the way to my neck. That's how my pain starts. Whenever my hips will get super tense, I'll feel pain in my lower back, even picking up things.
Yes.
We're moving to a new house, and it's been ridiculous. Like, I'll pick up things from the bedroom to the car, and my back will still start dropping. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. What is happening, man? I am Zeus. That used to be my nickname.
Yeah, I know that's your body. Definitely, you can still be Zeus. You can go back to being Zeus.
No, Zeus is crazy. We don't want to bring that guy
back.
Okay.
You don't want to bring Zeus back. Yeah.
Yeah, my wife will be like, please don't encourage him to bring Zeus back. Yeah.
All right.
She's like, I'm done with that guy.
Yes.
That was a wild phase. I just needed to find
Zeus
myself.
has a son now. So
yeah, he has a son and a second one coming on the way. So.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you.
A boy
excited.
or do you not?
A boy.
No, that's adorable.
Another boy. So, which means I need to work in my body.
Oh, yeah. No. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so let's say now you had an opportunity to be in a room filled with CEOs.
Okay.
What would you tell them?
A room filled with CEOs?
Yeah, and they were all anxious with their, like feet like tapping on the ground, eyes
twitching. Take a breath.
Take a deep breath.
Like, take a breath. It's really not that serious. And I have to tell myself that too. Because I think we play this role of we tell ourselves we don't care what people think. But if we're in that state of mind, that phase, clearly we do.
Right.
We kind of sit there and, I need to get this done because such and such is going to this and that, such and such. It's really not that deep.
Right.
We have to take a breath. Breath is literal life. So if we're not taking deep breaths, our brain is just shutting down and our body's getting, So yeah, I would tell every CEO in that room, okay, take a deep, deep breath and remind yourself, is my family safe?
Right.
Am I safe? Are we prepared? Are we heading towards something good?
Right.
Yes, we are.
That's amazing. I'm like so chill. I'm actually taking a deep breath. As you were talking, I was like, oh yes, I forgot to breathe.
Well, we have to remind ourselves that we are safe. We are safe. We are protected. We are good. And you can take that however you want. But I am speaking more in a spiritual, connected to something greater than yourself.
Right.
And not to get dark or anything, but there was a situation that happened not too far from here where a woman was shot and killed. And I've just been thinking about her, and it's just a whole situation. More people died in one day, and I thought to myself, and I'm complaining about my flat tire, just like,
right.
It's just, I had a flat tire that day and I was like, oh, me, man, a flat tire, blah, 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 blah. And then I find that out that happened before that, veered off. But we're safe. Our family's safe. Everything's safe. We're safe. We're in a safe place, safe environment. And if we don't feel safe, then step out. If we were all CEOs in one building, feeling unsafe, why are we there?
Right.
Just take a breather.
Yeah. And like, even with that title CEO, I think a lot of leaders forget and put their identity in that. It's like, I'm the CEO.
Yeah.
Like it comes with that responsibility, which it has its own responsibility, but the identity get lost in that.
Yeah.
But like you being a massage therapist, like how do you explain, help them separate their identity from the title?
Oh, well, that's very interesting. We have to remember I do own 2 businesses.
Right.
So there's a little stress behind that. Yeah. But I was going to touch back on that point. As a CEO, and this is why I love your company, Heliona, because as a CEO, it is extremely important to practice what we preach. How in the world can I possibly tell all my clients, hey, take a breath. Hey, don't worry. Hey, this and that. And then go home and stress out and worry and this and that myself. And thank God I have a great partner, Celeste, and my fiance. Indeed. He's like, a lot of this are things that he had to remind me of, especially during the build out of the space, where it's a reminder that are you taking care of yourself? Are you sleeping enough? Are you drinking enough water? Are you doing, if we are not 100% present for our people, then we're not being the best leader we can be.
Right.
So any CEO that's feeling all that, Abraham.
Oh yeah. Thank you for that call out.
Any CEO that's feeling, and every CEO feels this. Any CEO, my mentor actually, he's been a client of mine for years. And I love that once a week he comes in and gets massages because they really do help simmer everything down. Right. And I love that. It's an inspiration because I'm it's like, I gotta do that. Yeah. Do more of the self-care. But always be sure to take care of yourself, all the leads, mentally, physically, emotionally, all the leads.
I say that all the time. I would say all the leads.
All the leads. Make sure as a CEO you're checking off all the leads. Yes, you do have time for yourself because if you don't, all the progress you're making now is what's it going to look like in 10 years? Right. That's true. Is it still going to be going, or is it going to fall apart because you fell apart? Right. It's a CEO and leadership is a huge responsibility. No, so we have to be sure to take care of all the leads.
Right. No. I actually had a conversation with the president of Bank of America, Matt, and like one of the things which you just touched on, which was the importance of having a mentor. Yes. He actually started as an intern from Bank of America and became the president. Like that's insane. Yeah. The amount of consistency that one has. But when it comes to massage too, consistency is very important. At the end of the day.
Well, we take better care of our cars than we do ourselves. And I remember listening to a motivational speaker that said, a car you can replace. If it falls apart, breaks down, you can replace. You can buy a new one. Right. Your body, you can't. You only get one of those your entire life. Right. And we take much better care. Our oil, I need to make sure I get my oil change. Right. Okay, your massage is your oil change for your body.
One thing that I want to talk about is which you touched on, is like deep breath. I met this like lady she's from Indonesia and she would do like breathing exercise with me. And then which you kind of touched on, you like talked about just the importance of like breathing. When I asked you the question of if you had a room filled with CEO, what would you say to them? Is there any way that you can help us understand just the importance of breathing and just associating that to just being able to make good decisions, being able to just function as a human being?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The deep breaths, I mean, it brings oxygen to everything.
Right.
Our whole body needs oxygen. Even our blood needs the oxygen. Why do I keep saying oxygen? Oxygen, it needs
Right.
the oxygen. So when you're taking that deep breath, it's inviting that oxygen into the body,
Right.
and it creates better blood flow, and it makes the blood flow better. Your muscles are less tense, more relaxed. You're getting blood flow, oxygen flow to those.
Right.
And then your brain is functioning better because, without breath, your brain's just going to shut down. So you have the physical aspect of that. And then it also calms the nervous system. So
Right.
your nervous system is calm. You're calm, cool, collected. So deep breath makes you calm, cool, collected.
Right.
And it makes your brain function better. So your decision-making process is better.
Right.
You're making more logical and less emotional choices. Because if you're stressed out and you just want to get a choice made, are we thinking through that?
Right.
No, because we're not even breathing. How are we thinking? So just taking a minute to breathe, think things through, get that oxygen going,
Right.
get that brain working, calming the nervous system. Is this a logical choice?
Right.
Is this emotional?
Wow.
What is the goal of the choice?
Right.
Or I should say, what is the goal? And then I'll make that choice.
Right.
But
Wow.
I don't know.
It's
if
like
that
the
helps.
source of life. No, like that's
in
really
yoga,
good. Yes.
it's the source of life. Yeah.
It just came into my head, by the way. That's an Abraham original, guys. It's the source of life.
Heard first here at my massage studios.
Yeah. We've definitely covered a lot, and and how can people find you if they want to, just book a session and learn how to breathe and just chill.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. So mymassagestudios.com
Right.
to book with any of our fantastic massage therapists. If anything, Ren right now, she is amazing with the work that she does.
Right.
And then we have Nikki coming in as well.
Right.
But every single massage therapist is extremely talented at what they do. And that's what I love about the massage therapists that are gravitating towards this space is that we all understand that portion
Right.
between the breathing, self-care, and the importance of knowing what we're doing on the table.
Right.
So yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
And like, are you looking for massage therapists that you want to hire? Because since it's a massage studio, and I noticed there's a lot of rooms here.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we're not exactly hiring massage therapists. We're offering massage therapists a space to work on their own clients. So it puts their clients, their schedule into their own hands. They just have access to the studio, and we help them navigate the business aspect.
So like an Airbnb, but for massage therapists.
Like an Airbnb for massage therapists.
That's cool. Well, congrats. That's I feel like, in Kansas City, something that you don't see very common. Things like this
it's
you
a
see
new
it in
concept.
LA,
Yes.
but like not in Kansas City at all. So thank you for doing that.
No,
so
absolutely.
if you're listening and you want to book, go ahead, because me just being here, being in this space, it has been just amazing, just experiencing everything. So we do have a tradition here that I ask my guests all the time. So after everything we've talked about today, how is your spirit right now?
My spirit? Oh my goodness. I feel like I've grown.
Yeah.
I was so tempted to say, no, thank you, I'm fine, because because it's nerve-wracking, but I remembered our conversation that we had where you said, I'm going to learn, I'm going to say less. I'm going to say no less. And I said, you know what? I'm going to deep dive into my little Abraham.
Right. Yep.
And just say yes. And I said, you know what? A client happened to cancel. You needed a guest. I needed something to do.
Right.
So I feel like the stars aligned.
Yeah.
So yes, my spirit feels like it's grown.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. And like, speaking of nerve-wracking, guys, she actually ghosted me for 2 weeks. Just thinking about whether she should do this. So thank you for saying yes to this opportunity, because I know I have a lot of leaders that like listen to this podcast, and talking to them, I can tell that, man, I don't want to be in this person's shoe. I can feel the nervousness, and every now and then, because the podcast sometimes tend to go for like an hour sometimes, and then they'll enjoy the conversation, but after, I hit stop, I'll see them looking at their watch and like rushing out. Like, oh my God, I got to go do something else. So, so that's one reason why I wanted to have this conversation where we can talk about how to rest. If you need to find ways to rest, there is a space for you in Kansas City. And I'm even thinking about ways that I can add you into Heliona as like a preferred partner where
I'm looking forward to it. Yes, I love what Heliona is doing, and thank you so much for the emails because they really do help, especially in this new journey.
You.
Yeah, no, they really
sign up to the email list.
Yes, they really do. Right. They do. They're short, sweet, straight to the point. Yes. It's like my work.
Right. No, yeah, I try to keep it as short as possible.
Yes,
and just talk about things that are happening during the week that are impacting like leaders and their decision making and how they can focus on the 30% that they can control.
Yeah.
Because everything else is just 70%. So I find that 30%.
Yeah.
And then send that to them. So it's something that, you can act on right now, something you can do right now. Because there's so much happening.
Well, you know what? Speaking of self-care, that reading, that short reading that helps take some of the thought out of my thought process, that's part of the self-care where I'm growing as a leader by the content that I'm intaking.
Right.
So Heliona is a great content to intake,
great
email to read in a short little, 2-3 minutes to read it.
Yeah, just 2 to 3 minutes. That's the tops.
Yes.
I have short reading span. So
yeah, same here.
I don't want people reading a whole freaking journal.
Yes, so I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, it's really helpful.
But yeah, well, thank you so much for being here today. Is there anything that you think I didn't ask you so far that you would like to talk about before we close?
No, I don't think. I think we did great.
Right. No, this was a good conversation.
Thank you.
Again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And we'll maybe have you again here someday.
Well, hey, I'm happy to grow some more.
Right. Yeah, keep growing and I'll keep growing too.
Yes,
and we'll have this conversation again.
To growth.
Right. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.